All right, welcome everyone. Thank you so much for joining tonight. And for those of you watching and recording, I hope this will be a really beneficial half hour for you. I'm looking forward to connecting. I was honestly really excited to just be with my peeps tonight. So hopefully you're feeling that way too. And I'm especially excited for next week when a lot of us get to be in person together at convention. So this is our third week of our accountability group. Habit building accountability group. And this week we are going to dive a little bit into the 3x3x3 system. We're actually going to talk about it this week and next week. We talked, about our simple system last week as a whole. There's, different components there. And this is really this is kind of the nuts and bolts and the heart and the core of what we do to live out loud. So we're going to talk about that today. And like I said in my message, I hope you have some tips and tricks that you're willing to share when I open it up in a few minutes to hear what people's kind of best practices are that you found to work well for you, because I think it's fun to learn from one another. So I'm going to just mute a couple people as they're popping on. And let's see here, I can't get that. And I am also going to share my screen because I have a few slides. And I actually, why do I always miss, there's like an enormous green button that says share. And every time I skip over it, I'm looking at the gray ones and it's like, come on this. Okay. We are going to do the slides and then we'll get to a little more content. All right, here we go. So July habit building accountability mini session, week 2. No, week 3. I did not update that. Oops, my bad. Week 3, 3x3x3 in structure is our topic. All right, so 3x3x3, what and why? I'm just getting my view situated here. Sorry. Okay, and I think someone's off mute. So if you guys could all check and mute yourselves, that would be great. All right, here we go. So 3x3x3. Whoops, got ahead. What and why? All right, so what is the 3x3x3? This is a really simple method that we have within our simple system that allows us to make an impact. That, at the end of the day, is what we're all about: business growth and making an impact. And the 3x3x3 is our structure for going out and living out loud and attracting people who are looking for a solution and helping them come into the fold. So that's really at the core what 3x3x3 is. And it's a formula, like I said, for living out loud. And like we talked about last week with our simple system, I think the thing that's really fantastic about the 3x3x3 method for social media and living out loud is that it is that formula. And when you get started with coaching, a lot of times we start with those people who are most on our hearts that we're wanting to connect with and wanting to make an impact on and wanting to see their lives transformed. But what do you do after that? What do you do when you work your way through that list of people that are on your heart? That's where the 3x3x3 comes into play and has really got you back. So the 3x3x3 is a means to an end. That's one way to look at it. It's connecting with people so that you can transform them. The only way that we can transform lives is if we put ourselves out in the sphere or in the arena, like Brene Brown likes to say. Actually, it was Teddy Roosevelt that said it first, but Brene Brown uses that quote about getting into the arena, which is really just that living out loud, being, engaged with our lives, the community, and the world around us. So 3x3x3 facilitates doing that. And so we're able to transform people as we connect with people. But it's also an end in itself. So the thing that I love about this is that we have, I'm going to talk about our 4 pillars in a moment, but we have, different aspects of our business that we approach when we're kind of coming in and starting to build. And one side of it is our coaching side, right? Coaching our clients, coaching coaches that come onto our team. The other side of that is our business side. And so 3x3x3 helps us to grow our businesses. And that is going to be the rhythm that you maintain on a daily basis for the growth of your business. And then I have a bullet point here: structure versus flow. What I want to say about that is when it comes to living this out and kind of taking these steps every day, you're going to approach it from a couple of different directions. The way we're going to talk about it tonight is 3 by 3 by 3 in structure. And that means identifying, excuse me, your rhythms for when you're going to put up your posts, what you're going to post, if you want to have kind of a plan or a structure for scheduling that in terms of, you know, on Mondays I do recipes, on Tuesday I do tricks, whatever that looks like for you. It's going to be when are you finding friends and sending out post requests? When does that come into your schedule and your time blocking? That's the structure side of it. The flow side of it is going to be the aspect of living this out that comes just naturally in the way that we live our lives. So we get to be integrated in what we do as health coaches. And the really awesome thing about that is that everywhere we go, we take our business with us. I'm in the middle of doing some kind of additional leadership training with Optavia. And one of the things we're talking about is your business is you and you are your business, right? So as we go out and live our lives, we are our business, and we get to have that flow of making new friends, starting conversations. And that piece is a little bit more of that authentic living, you know, within your day-to-day life, authentically sharing in that context. So that's going to be happening alongside of that structure that we've got in place. So we'll talk about the flow next week. All right, so 3 by 3 by 3, how do we do this? And actually, you know what, I think before I do this, I'm gonna actually show you guys a video. So there's a video, let's see if I can get out of this here. There is a video that I wanna show you guys, and I'll just say this before I pull it up. This is a 4-minute video that I send to new coaches when I'm teaching them the 3 by 3 by 3 system, because it's really quick and I think it really gets to the heart of why we do this. She touches a little bit on the how, but what she talks about for the how all kind of flows out of the why. And so I think it's really important for us to get really grounded in why we are going to commit to doing this. We talked in the very beginning, the first week, why are we doing this? Creating these habits, why are we wanting to be consistent with them? And I think that for something like the 3 by 3 by 3, sometimes it does take us out of our comfort zone. And with that, if it's going to be a little bit of a stretch and growing process for us, it's important to know, and something we have to commit to, put into our schedule and find time for. It's really good to know why and have that kind of on your radar, and also like just within your heart. So let's listen to this video, 4 minutes, and then we will go to the next slide.
Hey everyone, I'm Coach Joanna, and I just wanted to take a few minutes just to reiterate why we do the 3, 3, and 3. There's amazing training out there. You have amazing mentors who can explain to you the how of the 3, 3, and 3, but I wanted just to take a brief moment to explain the why. I want you to think of the 3, 3, and 3 as a way to get your platform out there. Listen, I wholeheartedly, without a shadow of a doubt, believe that Optavia is the greatest thing since sliced bread. I believe that we have the golden ticket. We have something to offer people: freedom in their lives financially, in their physical health, offer community, offer a sense of purpose, offer an opportunity for people to inspire other people. We have a powerful, powerful tool. But having this powerful tool doesn't do a hill of beans if you don't have an audience and your microphone isn't turned on. So let me explain. You might be out there posting 3 times a day like a boss every day, but you're not seeing things moving forward. I would suggest that one of the reasons why that might be the case is because your audience might not be big enough. Here's the thing. Again, like I said, if you have a platform but your audience isn't there, what's the point? We've got to grow our audience. It is so important. I challenge you, if you have anything less than 1,000 friends, it's time to get in there and like a boss grow your audience. I challenge you to make it your personal goal to have your friends list maxed out by the end of this year. I think you can have the maximum of 5,000 friends. So what does that take to max out your friends? That means going in and friending a whole lot of people every single day. So every day I'm committed to going in and adding 20 people. How do I do that? Well, I find my great Aunt Sue, or I find a friend in my life that I trust, and I go into their friend list. And I find every person that we have 2 to 3 mutual friends, and I add that every one of those people as a friend. So if my great Aunt Sue and I have 2 mutual friends, 4 mutual friends, 5 mutual friends, this person is, I'm add. And I committed to minimum 20 a day. Because the reality is there's the law of averages here. and 20 people are not going to accept my friendship. So it's super, super important to me that I go above and beyond so I can make sure at the very least 3 people are accepting my friend request every day. That's number one. Grow your audience. You've got a platform to share, grow it. But now here's the thing. You have your platform, you have your audience, but if your microphone ain't on, nobody's going to hear you. So how do we turn on that microphone? That's where that other component of the 3, 3, and 3 comes in. We like people's pictures and we comment on them in order for you to be moved up in their news feed. You being moved up in their news feed turns on your microphone. You could be posting all these amazing things. You have all these friends, but if no one's seeing it, again, doesn't do the hill of beans. So you've got to make sure you are liking and commenting on people's pictures and posts every day. And if you want to take it a step further, with doggone it, I hope you do, is start conversations. Because being a public speaker who doesn't connect with their audience is kind of yucky too. We connect with our audience by starting meaningful conversations. And again, these conversations never have to turn into a health conversation, but the point of it is to connect. The point of it is to let that person know you're invested in them and you care about them. My conversations can go as something as simple as this. It could be, let's say I just friended a new person on Facebook and they accepted my friendship. I will go check out their page. Just recently, I saw someone who did the marathon, the Disney marathon, and I immediately congratulated her, liked one of her pictures, and then went over to Messenger and said, hey girl, congratulations on such an amazing accomplishment. I would love to know what training program you use, because that is something I can never even imagine doing. How did you train for that? All I did was show that I was interested in her. If it never turns to a health conversation, that's okay, because that's what makes this authentic. I'm not connected to the outcome. I'm connected to investing in her. So that's my challenge to you. You've got the platform. Grow your audience and turn that microphone on. Connect with your audience. So when people are ready, you're the person they think of. You're the person they trust. Keep growing, people. Keep growing and keep helping more and more people.
All right. She and I are both having trouble turning that off. Okay. So I hope you guys appreciated that. Like I said, I think it's a really great way to, from a broad perspective, look at our why in what we're doing with 3 by 3 by 3, reminding us of that. You know, again, like I was saying, this is how we reach into people's lives, is by turning on our microphone, like Joanna said. But we're going to talk a little bit more, and you're going to be digging into your own personal, deeper why a little bit this week. That's going to be one of the action steps. So hopefully that kind of becomes a little bit more motivating, I guess, is really ultimately what it is, but inspiring, I guess, is kind of more to the point, that we feel inspired to, to reach out and to get out of our little bubbles and put ourselves out there and start taking these steps and getting into this rhythm. Okay, so the 3 by 3 by 3, how? I think most of the people listening are fairly familiar with this, but I'll just kind of do a quick once over. There are a lot of really good trainings. I shouldn't say a lot, but there are a handful of great trainings on this system. The really nitty gritty, like, how do I do my posts? What does that look like on a practical basis? And so another one of our action steps is going to be, if you're feeling a little fuzzy on the specifics, or if you're feeling, if you're a newer coach and you haven't watched a training on this yet, that will be provided for you later in our message, so that you can refresh yourself. But we'll just do, like I said, a once over here. So 3 posts a day, 3 new Facebook friends a day. And this is all, I'm going to talk Facebook because that's what I use. Some people use Facebook and Instagram. If you're new to social media, definitely would encourage you to start with Facebook, because that's more widely utilized, just kind of across the board. And also within coaching, we have a little bit more experience and kind of training and knowledge on algorithms and different things like that. Whereas Instagram, we're just kind of building that up currently. So, and I shouldn't say that they don't know, it's just that there's far fewer coaches that utilize Instagram really regularly. And so most of your resources are going in, what's shared through trainings are going to be oriented around Facebook. So posts, new friends, and then 3 conversations per day. 3 posts, you know, again, there's a training that you guys will be able to have access to, but, you know, once at breakfast, lunch, and dinner, however you want to work that into your rhythm and routine. Maybe you have 2 that are set in structure and 1 that kind of comes in flow during your day where you, you know, just authentically in the moment are choosing, hey, this is really fun to share. This is what I've got going on. But whatever you decide to set up, it's the idea is that we're working towards 3 posts a day. More is actually not necessarily better. You certainly can do 3 to 5. I don't think that's going to be the end of the world, but know that if you're doing 3, that's completely sufficient. You don't want to have to feel like you're constantly posting. And in fact, your posts are not going to likely be seen by all the people that you want to have see them if you are posting that often. So, and actually one kind of like asterisk to that, and should be probably added to this kind of little formula that we talk about, but in addition to the posts and new friends and conversations, you also want to be as active in social media as you can throughout the day in terms of going through your feed and commenting on people that you're connecting with and people that maybe you've done health assessments with, or just anybody, because that's going to increase the likelihood of your post coming into people's feeds. That's from a technical standpoint, but from a heart standpoint, which is what I'm much more kind of oriented around in terms of our why, that just gets you connected with people and doing life with them. So 3 new friends. Again, you kind of can figure out your rhythm with that. Friends and adding friends, that can be batched more so than some of these other posts and conversations. So when I say batched, I mean, if you would like to, on the first, 5 days of the month, add, what's 3 times 30, 90. If you want to add, 20 friends a day for the first whatever days of the month, go for it. The posts and the conversations you're going to want to keep consistently every day in structure, because that's what's going to be the rhythm that brings you into conversations with, like I said in the beginning, the people that are looking for something. And so when it comes to those conversations, certainly, I think the comments and things that we're doing publicly in Facebook can fall into that category, but we're really specifically talking about reaching out to people in private message and just saying hi. Honestly, I remember when I started coaching, it was around Christmas time, and I was really nervous to dive into this kind of idea of why am I feel weird reaching out to people? But then I got excited because I thought, wait, it's Christmas. I'll send a message to everyone I get a Christmas card from and just say hi. And that's what I did. And it is as simple as that. It doesn't have to be something awkward. It doesn't have to be something where you have an agenda or an ulterior motive. If you have an agenda or an ulterior motive, let it just be that you want to live out loud and you want to connect with people. As we put ourselves into the arena, we make ourselves available. So just let it be about that, about connecting with people and being in relationship. Couple other points I want to make here is, if you are someone who has really big goals, if you're feeling like you want to replace an income, bring a spouse home from work, even if you have just, a big goal of earning enough money to go on several vacations a year with your family, whatever the case might be, I want to really encourage you to go on 3x3x3 hyperdrive. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Star Wars, but they have this thing in Star Wars, and I don't even know how I know this because I don't know anything about Star Wars, but I just happen to remember, probably because I'd heard hyperdrive before. And then when I watched the movie with my kids, I was like, oh, that's where that comes from. But it's really a cool scene because they're driving the, Millennium Falcon, Millennium, is that what it's called? Whatever. I don't know Star Wars. But then they put it into hyperdrive and they boom, accelerate forward, super, super fast. And, that's going to be your goal. If you have really big goals, make it 10 conversations a day, make it 10 friend requests a day. Don't make it 10 posts a day. Like I said, you can keep that at 3 or so, but definitely let 3x3x3 be your really baseline activity level. And then when you're in a season of growth, you might want to bump it up. And then last, this is your structure. You get to decide, you get to pick and choose and be the creator of this and what it looks like for you in your life. But we do have 4 pillars in coaching, and the 4 pillars are acquiring clients and supporting clients, and acquiring coaches and supporting coaches. So when you're supporting clients and supporting coaches, which is some of what we talked about last week in terms of client support and those things that we might time block around our clients, you also have like full 50% of your business that, like I said earlier, really centers on growth and on acquiring new, because we all know that, clients will move on, transition, go into maintenance, that sort of thing. And so we want to be constantly filling that funnel. And this is your system. This is your rhythm for setting yourself up for continued acquisition of clients and coaches. All right. So breaking down barriers. I'm going to go through this quick, and then we'll leave a couple minutes for chatting if you guys want to share any tips that you have. So as with anything in coaching or in life, we might have a goal and we might have a desire in our heart, but we also might have something holding us back. And so I think here are a few things that you can consider when it comes down to, putting this into action. And if something is keeping you from seeing the results that you're interested in, and when I say results here, I mean the action, because really what we can control is our action. And then the results with people being ready is going to come when people are ready in their time, but we have full control over how much we lean into this system. And I think I mentioned that last week too, that we're in control of our destiny here, which is really exciting. So what are some of the things that can be barriers? So our mindset, don't expect this 3x3x3 to be like an overnight miracle pill. I don't think anybody really does. But at the same time, I think that it can be easy to not be consistent. We talk about time plus consistency equals success, and it's consistency in supporting your clients well. But again, it's back to that client acquisition, coach acquisition, and this is a huge part of that. So think of this as not something that's going to all of a sudden work miracles, although it will, and you will be amazed as you lean into it and really consistently carry it out. You'll be amazed at what results you do see. But this is a framework for your business growth, plain and simple. Skill set, where's your sticking point? So when it comes to these three areas of business growth and development, where you are stuck is going to be a cue. We talk about habits and cues and, creating new habit loops. And so identify where you're stuck, and that's going to be your cue for where you need to grow. And so, are you feeling, like uncomfortable or a friend requesting someone you don't know very well? Are you feeling a little fearful about posting your personal story, your personal health story, or being vulnerable or authentic in some way on Facebook? And vulnerable and authentic doesn't have to be scary or burying your secrets, but it's basically just being not perfect is really all it is. And so sharing this thing happened that I'm disappointed about, or whatever the case may be. It doesn't have to be deep, dark stuff, but it does help us connect. That's what really breaks down barriers in relationship, is when we're authentic with people. And so that's just another example, but identify where you feel stuck in this system and do some journaling around that, but talk to your business coach, because they're more than happy to kind of talk through what might be going on, or what is a different way to look at something. When I think about, adding new friends on Facebook, like Joanna was talking about, people that I don't know very well, send them a message and just say, hey, I saw that we have some mutual friends, and I just love, connecting with people in person and online. So I would love to be friends on Facebook. And I think that's a compliment to people. And, previous thought life, maybe I would be fearful about what their reaction would be. But now when I really challenge myself on what that fear is, it's really, what I'm doing is not being weird. What I'm doing is just connecting with people. And I don't have any goals other than connecting with people. So identify where you feel stuck and work with your coach on that. Heart set. So this is so important, foundational for everything we do, as we talk all the time about our why, but really let your why be what drives you in this. I think about what if my coach hadn't shared, what if she had been held back by something and decided not to coach? I never would have heard about the program, or maybe I would have heard about it, but from somebody else that I didn't know as well. And so much of what we do is based on that relationship equity. And I didn't know anything about what the heck this girl was doing, but I knew I trusted her, and I knew she wouldn't lead me into something that was weird. So remember that everything you do, yes, we want it to be about just connecting with people, but we also do want to transform lives. Like I mentioned in the beginning, connecting with people leads to transformation, and we want to see that happen for the people who are ready for it. So just remember that, you will, as you go through the action steps this week, you will dig into what your why is for, yes, for coaching, but even more specifically, what is your why for putting yourself out there in the arena? And as you do that, get more and more familiar with it, and stick it up on your desk on a Post-it, whatever, put it at the background on your phone, or like today I had something that I wanted to remind myself of. So I put it on a reminder, and every 3 hours it would pop up, so do what you want to do or need to do in order to be really driven by your heart set in this whole thing. So the last bullet here, what if I feel completely bogged down in life? So I just want to really emphasize that this is meant to be not something that you feel guilty if you can't do it all, not something where you have to be absolutely perfect, where if you miss a day, it's the end of the world. It's not something that's meant to be stressful or frustrating, or like create some, discomfort and things like that, because it is a new scenario for a lot of us, in terms of we've never necessarily approached social media in this way, but we've also never had these same goals, and also the same gift in our hands to give away. So I just want to, make sure that everyone knows that it's okay to kind of feel a little bit like nervous. And sometimes it can feel overwhelming to step into this new way of living when you've got a lot of other stuff going on in life. So give yourself grace in that. But the bottom line of what my heart is for this session that we're doing together is that we identify the places that we can just put little tiny habits into our life that will lead over time to growth for us and growth for our business and other people. When other people grow, our business grows. So it's just like a win-win situation where, if we focus on that growth for people, then we just as a result, as a downhill result, we get that growth within our business. And so that's the point of all of this. And if you're feeling stressed and overwhelmed and like this is a lot, one by one, or just, do what you can where you're at and focus on building a habit. That is the most important part of this, because you want to remember back to the teeth brushing example we've talked about in the past, that we want the idea and the goal and the hope is that these things become so automatic that we do them even if we're in a hard season of life and it gets really crazy. But if I every single morning when I wake up and have breakfast, scroll into my friends list and find 1 to 3 people to add, like pretty soon I'm going to be doing that without thinking. Or, if I, every time I get ready for bed and put my pajamas on, like quick look at my friends list and send a message to just say, hey, I'm thinking about you, and then shut my phone off and go to bed. Like if we put those little tiny habits into our life and routine, they're just going to become automatic. And that is just, such a gift, really, right? That we get to know all of the truth about how we build habits and how they become automatic, and all of these things that Dr. A teaches us for us to teach our clients that we can then transfer over to building our business. So I hope this has been helpful for everyone. I'm going to pause the share, and we're a little bit over, but I'm just going to leave like just a minute or two for anyone to pop off of mute and just share if there's anything that you found to be really beneficial in terms of this 3x3x3, how you've approached it, or maybe a mindset that you had carried and, were able to kind of combat with a different thought process that you think might help somebody. So if anyone wants to share, feel free to pop off mute, that is. Warp speed. Yes, that's right, Carrie. It was like, I knew there was like another another way to frame it. Star Wars is great. I just I don't know anything about it, but it's fun to watch my kids. So, all right. Who has a good tip for 3x3x3? Who can I call on? No brave souls tonight? I feel like we got to get at least one. Tara? Are you coming off mute? I thought I saw a reach.
Hey, Liz, I would just like to bring up one thing. So for me, I was really, really good about adding 3 friends and doing 3 posts, but I was not really good about 3 conversations. And I think it was my mindset thinking, oh, what is this person going to think? Or what if they don't answer? And I finally just got over it. I put many conversation starters out there, and many of them I can tell people have read, but they never responded. And I just, I'm okay with that. Like, I at least know that some of them are in a direct response to maybe a comment that they've posted online, or maybe something that they've commented on my Facebook page that is a direct relation to health or, eating better or something. But some of them have just been, hey, how are you? Long time no see. And it was really, I would take every one of those personal when someone didn't respond, and think, how could I do that different? What should I say? Should I post again? And when I just realized, you know what? It happens to me. Sometimes they're busy. Sometimes they read it and they just forget to respond. Sometimes they, I don't know. I don't know what they're thinking, and I'm not going to spend time worrying about what they're thinking, but just doing the action and seeing the outcome, even further on down the road has, it's been better for me to realize to just start the conversations and see where they go.
Yeah. I love that. Thank you so much for sharing, because that is such a common thought process of, first off, getting up the nerve to start these conversations in a new way. Again, it's just a conversation. It's nothing weird, but it feels different a little bit. And that's why, digging into that why and being like, this is why, people's lives are at stake. It's too important, that kind of thing. But so that's the first, can be the first hurdle. And then the second one is, if they don't respond, but you're totally right. They're busy, or they just have, whatever they forgot. I mean, I forget on messages all the time. But it's really the heart and the intent of just connecting that people will hear coming through what you're saying and what you're doing. And when it is authentic, it will show. It will show. Anyone else?
Yeah. How does Facebook Live fit into this?
Oh, that's a great question, Judith. So Facebook Live is kind of like the hyperdrive of Facebook posts, where it allows you to be more tangible to people, instead of being, you're 3-dimensional. You're not really, but you are in video. And on the, like I said, the technical side, I like to mention this so that you're just aware, but I don't like to think in terms of this is my why, but it does bring your algorithms to get your page in more people's feed and that sort of thing. So that's great, because we do want, that's what we're, where we're trying to do this is push our message out. But we want to do a Facebook Live because we have something to share, not because we want to receive something from it. But it's good to know those things. But to me, Facebook Live is an opportunity to connect with people in a different way, and just share something on my heart. For me, if I do a Facebook Live, it's usually because I feel like I'm grappling with something, or I have learned something or heard something that I think I can't be the only person that is thinking about this or has battled this. And it's just a way to become more real with your audience. It's honestly, it's fantastic. Yes, it's scary. It's always scary to hit live, but the more you do it, the more comfortable you become with it, and you start to impact people differently, and more different people too, if that makes sense. Because people who maybe haven't paid much attention to your posts might go, oh, wow, Judith is doing a Facebook Live. What does Judith have to say? And that's really interesting to
I think you tend to get a relationship with the people that do Facebook Live. You start putting a face with the person.
Yes.
But where do you start? Do you start with personal things, or do you start with, yes?
Yeah. Well, you can start anywhere. A lot of times, I'll encourage people if they're feeling a little hesitant, like, just if it's 4th of July and you're at the parade, like Facebook Live the parade, or at a baseball game, or whatever the case may be. Or if you have kids, Facebook Live of your kids being silly. I've done Facebook Lives of like cooking, like spiralizing zucchini, because a lot of people don't know how to do that. And so it's super easy. I mean, it's so easy. So I've done that. And like I did one on spaghetti squash. But then, and so if you want to kind of test the waters with some of those really kind of how-tos or easy, simple things. But I do think that, moving into sharing a little bit more from your life. And again, it just doesn't have to be big, scary stuff, although it can be deep stuff. And so I'm glad you asked. We're actually going to talk more about this next week with kind of flow. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, I just said that's good. That's one subject I'm interested in.
Yeah, good. Yeah, so we'll kind of talk about that vulnerability piece, and it's going to look different for everyone, but I think you can be vulnerable and authentic in your way, and that's going to help you connect with the people you're meant to connect with. Because like I always tell coaches that are new, like you're going to reach people that I could never reach, and your coach could never reach, and we all have an influence that's unique, which is part of what I love about what we do. Anyone else? Questions or comments?
Hey, Liz, just one thing I wanted to kind of throw out there too is we saw something we'd seen like Doug Wood or someone say that not only doing Facebook Lives, but also starting to message people using video messages. So recording a message and then sending it to them like as a follow-up that we have not been good at doing. I mean, I just feel like if I message someone, it's like a big, kind of reaching out for us too. But now to even think, oh my goodness, I'm going to record myself and send a message to them, but just connecting with them personally. So we started to try to do that a little bit. And I think people like that, to get that video. I've never gotten that from anyone personally. So I think we're kind of I don't know if it's the start, the cutting edge, I don't know, but what you would call it, but just that sending a video to someone instead of a text is something we're thinking
more
about
of a personal touch, I think.
So I don't know if you have thoughts on that or suggestions, or if you've tried that, or what you think of that.
No, it's fantastic. Yeah. My coach, Megan, is really good at that. And she will send, short little 1-minute videos on Facebook Messenger, inviting people to explore coaching. So she'll, and other things too. But I think part of the reason she does that, especially with inviting people to explore coaching, is that she wants them to hear her heart, not just read words that are typed that can be, the tone could be read into it, the intent could be read into it. But when you send someone a message that's like a 1-minute video just saying, I've been thinking about you and I see you being such an, influencer in really helping people completely change their lives. And I have no idea if you'd be interested in this, but I think you'd make an amazing health coach. And, that's going to be a major compliment, whether you're texting it or whether you're doing a video message. But I know that she'll use that often when it's a message that she really wants to be clear, like where her heart is at, and that there's nothing like being misconstrued, that sort of thing. Anything else? So this is a journey, you guys, honestly. I mean, and it's going to ebb and flow. Like I said, you're going to go in hyperdrive, and then you're going to go to the I'm overwhelmed one by one by one, and it's going to be a growth and learning process as you're getting up to speed with consistency with it. But it's so worth the commitment and the effort and consistency. The fruit of it is just so special, and so just so worthy of the time. So I hope that this has been helpful for you guys. Like I said, I wanted to kind of break it down a little bit differently than what we have in our trainings, and some of the ways we can look at our barriers and things like that. But ultimately, like I said, it's really, pair these actions with something that's going to be consistent and build the habit that way. And it's really going to serve you well, especially when we come out of convention. We're really excited. We want to get moving, get going. This is going to be your get moving and get going. This is going to be what isn't that overnight, success thing, like I was saying, but is that foundation for building for September, October. And it's going to be your foundation when maybe in December, your business is a little bit less busy. You've got this 3x3x3, and you're doing your part, no matter what's going on with where people are at and how ready they are to start. So anyways, I'm going to stop the recording. Thanks everyone for being here tonight. And we will see you next week for our last week. And then we're together at convention. So have a good night.